All right, welcome back. So, we've spent some serious time building the foundation for a better world with the UN's Sustainable Development Goals, focusing on people and prosperity. But now for the big one. In this final part of our explainer, we're asking, how do we protect it all? It's time to dive into the goals for our planet and for our future. Okay, so 12 goals down. We've laid out this incredible blueprint for a world where everyone can thrive. But let's be real. A blueprint is pretty much useless if the ground it's built on just crumbles away. That's what this final, crucial chapter is all about. Securing the planet itself and figuring out how we're all going to pull this off together. Just to quickly recap our journey so far, we started with the absolute bedrock of human dignity, ending poverty and hunger, ensuring good health, and providing quality education for everybody. Then, from there, we explored the building blocks for creating fair and productive societies. Things like achieving gender equality, securing clean water, making sure energy is affordable, and that everyone has a shot at decent work. And most recently, we looked at how to structure our modern world. We talked about fostering smart innovation, reducing inequality, building sustainable cities, and really fundamentally rethinking how we produce and consume things. So that's the first 12. And that brings us to today, the final 5 goals. These are all about protecting our shared home and, just as importantly, forging the partnerships we need to make all 17 of these goals a reality by 2030. Let's start with the biosphere, because honestly, you can't talk about human progress on a dying planet. The next 3 goals, 13, 14, and 15, they aren't just separate items on a checklist. No way. They're one single interconnected system that supports all life on Earth. First up, Goal 13, climate action. This is the big one, the overarching threat. Climate change doesn't recognize borders. It affects every single country with rising sea levels, supercharged storms, and totally unpredictable weather that threatens our food and our water. And to really get the scale of this challenge, just look at the data. Between 1990 and 2020, global greenhouse gas emissions didn't just creep up. They shot up by a staggering 50%. This one number is exactly why urgent is the only word that works for Goal 13. Now, this connects directly to Goal 14, life below water. Our oceans, they aren't just these huge, vast bodies of water. They are the planet's main climate regulator. They absorb immense amounts of heat and CO2, and they're a source of food for billions of people. Think about this. Oceans cover 3/4 of the Earth's surface. They are the blue heart of our planet. But right now, that heart is under incredible stress from pollution, from acidification, and from overfishing that is pushing entire marine ecosystems right to the brink of collapse. And that brings us to Goal 15, life on land. Here, we're talking about the forests, the wetlands, the mountains, basically everything we call home. Forests are literally the lungs of the planet. They absorb CO2, and they host over 80% of all land-based animals, plants, and insects. But here's the brutal reality of how fast we're losing them. Every single year, we lose 13 million hectares of forest. And to put that into perspective for you, that is an area the size of Greece. Gone. This deforestation, it drives climate change, it turns fertile land into desert, and it fuels a mass extinction crisis. Okay, so we have these massive, complex environmental crises, but let me ask you a question. How can we possibly come together to solve them in a world that's filled with conflict, instability, and injustice? The reality is, we can't. Illegal logging and poaching don't just happen out of nowhere. They thrive when there's no rule of law. Long-term environmental planning? Impossible during a civil war. Progress on every single one of these goals just grinds to a halt when societies are unstable. And this is exactly why Goal 16 is the foundation that everything else is built on. Think of it like the strong pillars holding up the entire roof of the SDGs. Without access to justice and institutions people can actually trust, the whole plan is just vulnerable. So we've got goals for people, for prosperity, for the planet, and for peace. What's the final piece of the puzzle? What's the one goal that acts as the glue holding all the others together? Well, that would be Goal 17. Partnerships for the goals. The UN is crystal clear about this. The 2030 agenda is so ambitious, it's so complex, that it can only be achieved by revitalizing a global partnership. No one country, no one company, no one community can do this alone. It's impossible. And partnership isn't just some abstract concept. It means governments sharing technology and finance. It means businesses aligning their strategies with sustainability. And crucially, it means all of us acting as those final, essential puzzle pieces that lock into place to create the bigger picture. And that right there brings us to the core message, not just of Goal 17, but of the entire SDG framework, that we are, quite simply, stronger together. And with that, we've covered all 17 goals. This isn't just a list of wishes. When you see them all together like this, you realize they form a complete, actionable plan for humanity, a shared roadmap to a sustainable future. This is the vision right here, to create a world where no one is left behind, a world where we can all thrive without destroying the very home that sustains us. It's ambitious, for sure, but it is possible. And you know, this isn't just a job for presidents and CEOs. It starts with us. Simple, everyday actions really truly matter. Saving energy, reducing waste, choosing to walk or bike, and maybe the most important thing of all, just talking about these goals. Share them, discuss them, keep the conversation alive. Because at the end of the day, that's what it all comes down to. This is our shared plan for our shared future. The only question left is, are you in?